Hello and welcome to another video with me, Esther from Gather and Create. Today I'm going to be showing you another card using the wreath technique, and you use the Stamparatus for that. I'll show you exactly what I'm talking about when I do my demonstration. For those of you who've been following my blog, you may have seen that I'm doing something a little bit new with the launch of the new catalogue, which came out on the 1st of June. The new Stampin' Up annual catalogue. I decided to just focus on one stamp set per month, so that's stretching me quite a lot creatively, but we'll also hopefully show you how much you can do with just one stamp set. Sure enough, I have introduced other items like dies on this one, but fundamentally I'm only using one stamp set, so I'm trying to be very careful about what I choose in terms of has it got sentiments as well as images. So that's why I chose this one this month. So this is what we're making, and it's pretty simple. The wreath technique using the Stamparatus is pretty simple. It's just a very basic theory, and you just follow that each time. The colours I am focusing on are Call Me Clover and Lovely Lipstick. So these are in colours. Every year Stampin' Up bring out a selection of in colours, and they last for 2 years. So these are the 2018 to 2020 in colours. So we'll use these next time around. Make the most of those. Grab those now if I were you. Now, essential to the wreath technique is the Stamparatus, which is a stamping platform that you can do all sorts of cool techniques. In its very simplest form, it means you can have perfect placement of your stamp every single time, but it has some other cool things going for it as well, but I won't go into that now. I just want to be able to show you the technique. And the way you start it is you just take a piece of card. Doesn't matter if it's white, but I've just chosen white. I've chosen our Whisperite Extra Thick, so it's a little bit more substantial. I can just reuse it. And I've taken the biggest square from our square dies, and as you can see, I just die cut it that way, run it through the die cutting machine again that way, and that leaves you with this. Then what you're going to need is your square to actually do your stamping onto. So you just lay that inside there where you've left the aperture, and then I just like to kind of scoop my magnet along there, so I'm just tethering it. I'm using photopolymer stamp set today, and they do tend to stick a little bit, so because they stick you can shift your card a little bit. So all you're going to do is lay your first image down. So we're using the flower, as you can see. Lay your first image down where you would like the first one to be. I'm just going to pop that there. Press your plate down and lift it up, and then that's ready to stamp. I told you it would stick a little bit. So I'm just going to take my ink pad, ink it up. Don't know if my inking is on camera. I don't know if you can see that. I'm inking it up and I'm pressing it down. Then all that's going to happen is I'm going to turn it one corner at a time. Just lay that in there. Ink again. Stamp. Turn. I think you're probably getting the idea. So now I'm at the last one. I'm going to clean up and introduce the leaf. So same concept again. I'm just going to bring it back to square on and figure where I want to put my leaf. So it's going to go about there. And it's time to use the Call Me Clover. Some of the leaves will stamp slightly off, but I'm not too concerned about that because it's going to be die cut into a circle anyway. So now I have my wreath complete. It is time to die cut that into a circle. Let's clean up my Stamparatus. So using a circle die, I'm just going to go ahead and die cut that. I'll be right back. So you can see how I've die cut that. That was our original square. That's the circle die that I used. And to see how what I mean about it didn't really matter about some of the leaves stamping off there because they're all basically cut down now. So next element we need to do is the thank you. Now the thank you stamp actually is in on one line, one continuous sentiment, and I didn't actually want that because it doesn't really fit very nicely to just go across. It doesn't really fill the space how I wanted it. So simple to do. I've just taken a piece, it's about 2 centimeters wide. So yeah, just almost 3/4 of an inch there. I'll stamp onto that and then I'm going to cut it up. So I stamped that again in the green, Call Me Clover. Kind of towards the bottom, then I can chop the top off. Like so. Let's take my trusty snips. Just cut that there. And I want to cut it down the middle. And cut it across. It's probably going to be a bit wonky, but I don't care. So snip that. And that just gives you a bit more versatility again with your stamp sets. Some people actually physically cut the stamp. I have never attempted that. I'm not brave enough. So another little trick I'm going to show you is to just going to take the ink pad again and the sentiment. I'm just going to tap it in to the ink. It just makes it pop a little bit more. then just leaving those edges. This gives you a bit more definition for the sentiment. That's those pieces done. It's, as I said at the beginning, it's pretty die heavy, this particular card, but I mean, if you don't have a square die, you could take your craft knife and make your aperture. I've used circle dies for the actual card, but I've also used a stitched framelit. Now you could omit that if you needed to. This is a great month to stock up on bits and pieces though, because you're going to get vouchers for every £45 you spend. You're going to get £4.50 back to use next month. So this is a good time if you've got those bits and pieces, those basics that you really like, dies that you wanted to stock up on and really need in your stash. This is a great month to do so. But there are ways around it if you are limited at the moment. So I've already gone ahead and I've stamped using the same flower as we used on the wreath, and the red, the lovely lipstick. I've just done some random stamping on a piece of white which measures 10 centimeters by 14.4 centimeters, and I've popped that onto a Call Me Clover card base as well. I've also done the same size white, and I've used the sentiment from the stamp set again. You've really outdone yourself. So we've got thank you on the front, you've really outdone yourself. And then I've just used the same leaves again. So we've actually only got 2 inks, and I think it's pretty effective with the 2 inks. So let's do some assembly. Actually, let's pop the sentiment on first. And I'm going to use our foam pads for that. I'll pop a link in the description below to my blog, which will have all the details and also details to the products that I've used. Okay, trying sort of using those flowers centrally. Little things like popping them up on these foam pads really does make the difference. Okay, thank you. Now I need to just do my assembling actual circles. And glue. First onto the scallop. Cute how you just get a little bit of that scallop, and then the actual wreath I popped up again on foam pads. I recommend using a fairly decent amount of foam pads, especially if you're putting this through the post. You don't want anything sinking in or not arriving quite as you want it to. Foam pads are also not too thick, so it shouldn't affect the cost of your postage too much. Those are done. And then just popping the panels on. And I'll just put the insert in as well. These little touches make a big difference. You can of course just leave that blank if you're not sure what occasion you're sending it for. So always add a sentiment later. And you've always got a stash of go-to cards, things that you need. Okay, and this is going to just be, I'm not popping this up because it's already got enough layers. Just lay that flat. Everything's always easier when you just lay it flat. And that's it. I think this would look nice in any colour combination. I've chosen a bright and cheery one for today. And that is it. The wreath technique is super simple. I hope you enjoyed it. There's another, I'll try and link it for, there's another wreath technique I've done. But again, yep, just visit my blog, gatheringcreate.co.uk, and you'll see all the details on there. And there'll be another one using this stamp set, another project next week. So take care. See you soon. Bye bye.